The Simpsons have been on air for more than 30 years, with many fans wishing it ended a long time ago. Every time anyone talks about the show positively, they have to specify that it's the first 10 seasons. And it's easy to understand why. Some of the most talented members of the writing team left a long time ago, and the show is just not what it used to be. But one good thing about all the new seasons is that it keeps the old ones on air. I was born 11 years after the first episode aired, and the show is on all the time. It is an intentionally, unmistakably American show, but it is still admired all over the globe. This may be partially due to the high quality of foreign language dubs.
Barte, nechci tě strašit, ale možná máme doma bubáka nebo bubáky.
In his book about the show, Springfield Confidential, showrunner Mike Rice talks about visiting various countries and how every country believes that their dub is the best. The international accessibility combined with the fact that it seemingly never goes out of air means that there is a generation that grew up watching The Simpsons, me being a part of it. From my point of view, the show has always been there, long before me. It had an insane impact on my life and my sense of humor. As a kid I liked it just because of the look of it. The fact that an environment so mundane was animated just intrigued me. None of the other animation I knew at the time was like this. I don't recall what was the first episode I saw, but there's a small chance it might have been Homer vs. the City of New York. Specifically, the part where Homer needs to find the toilet. I must have been really small because I remember not realizing that these are the Twin Towers. At some point, I got my mom to buy a VHS tape of the show. One of the episodes was Itchy and Scratchy Land, and my dad saw me watching the scene and got mad at me because it was too violent. Fortunately, I didn't stop watching the show. 2 years later we saw this episode together and he had no problem with it. For a while, every time an episode aired, there was a juice commercial right before it started, and I remember it to this day. I was obsessed with the show. I played the PSP game, I played Hit and Run until I got stuck on a really tough race. There are also really strange flash games like the one where you fucking murder the Flanders family. The big Simpsons thing was something else though. I was 7 years old when the movie came out. I saw it in the movie theater and bought it on DVD and watched it more than any other movie in my life. At some point I lost the DVD and got a second one. The show was a comfort watch for me, a long time before I even knew what that meant. There was an episode called Bart Gets an F about Bart getting an F, which as a kid with bad grades was incredibly relatable to me. I remember watching this stupid video, which was the Dark Knight trailer Simpsons style, like every day at some point in my childhood. That is because I gained access to a computer, so I could watch the show without having to wait for it to be on TV, fueling my obsession with the show even more. As I got older, I realized how many references there are. In fact, the show introduced me to plenty of classic movies. More importantly, I began to understand how clever the humor really is. I don't want this to turn into me naming all my favorite jokes, but this one made me lose it every time the episode was aired.
Mom! Dad! Look, this biography of Peter Ueberroth is only 99 cents, and I found the new Al Gore book.
Same planning, sensible tomorrow.
Yeah, I hope it's as exciting as his other book, Rational Thinking, Reasonable Future.
I'm getting this book on UFOs. Did you know they're real? But there's a huge government conspiracy to cover it up.
Oh, that's just a paranoid fantasy.
Mr. Vice President, someone finally bought a copy of your book, sir.
Well, this calls for a celebration. I will.
As a non-American kid, I had no idea who Al Gore is, but the joke is just so good. It also made me realize how most jokes work. There was a lot of stuff I didn't get. Homer at the Bat features 9 different guest stars and I didn't know a single one. I didn't even know the rules of baseball. Yet I think that this is one of the show's best episodes and always laugh when it shows how all the players got independently into different kinds of trouble, resulting in Mr. Burns losing the whole All-Star team.
Good lord! Gigantism!
There were plenty of jokes that were just lost in translation.
Tell me, young man, what do you want out of life?
I want peas.
We all want peace, but it's always just out of reach.
This joke doesn't work when peas and peas don't rhyme, so it left me utterly confused until seeing it in English. Later on in high school, I started understanding the process of writing the show a bit more, which helped me appreciate it at a new level. Conan O'Brien was on the writing team of the show, and I started to religiously watch clips of his show on YouTube as well.
And then there's me, Stinky.
All of the knowledge I gained while watching the show made me want to pursue writing myself. My favorite episodes of the show were the Treehouse of Horror specials. I loved spooky stuff as a kid, and these introduced me to many iconic horror movies. Once I got to watch The Shining, I already knew everything that was gonna happen, because I already saw The Shining.
That's odd. Usually the blood gets off at the second floor.
2 or 3 episodes at the beginning where Marge introduces the show in front of red curtains. I saw this and thought, if I ever make a movie, this is gonna be the first scene. Unfortunately for me, someone already did it before, 90 years ago. I don't really keep up with the new episodes, since there were many of them that I didn't like. But there are some episodes in the most recent seasons that I really enjoyed, so who knows, maybe the Disney Plus era will be a good thing for the show. The best way to keep up with the show is the community. The way fans keep the show alive is incredible. There already is a great video about this topic, but to put it simply, fans take the show and just play with it. This is through countless memes, from simple to absurd to genius. There are countless Instagram accounts dedicated to the show, including Scenic Simpsons, which focuses on the scenery of Springfield. There's 10,000 variations of the steamed ham scene.
Steamed ham.
The manga Akira was recreated into Bart Kira. Someone made a fan game which is a reference to a throwaway joke made about the show.
Bring me eggs! Only eggs can sustain me!
My personal favorite is Simpsons Wave. The big ones have millions of views, so there's a good chance you saw them before. There are music videos edited from different episodes, giving them a moody atmosphere and sometimes creating a new narrative. When the show came out, it was considered counterculture. Even the American president got upset.
To make American families a lot more like the Waltons and a lot less like the Simpsons.
Nowadays, it's a show that parents let their kids watch. This shows how much the show pushed the expectations people had from TV. They often said screw the censors and just talked about what they wanted to talk about, creating some of the best television in the process. If there were no Simpsons, the television landscape would probably look very different today. And while there have been more zombie Simpsons than actual good episodes, the influence the show had on me and millions of people around the world is amazing.
In my high school yearbook, if you look at it, my thing is most likely to write for The Simpsons.
Are you serious?
Which is crazy, yeah. Which is like my pride and joy.
Did you ever write a Simpsons spec script? A lot of writers do.
That's how I got my 30 Rock job.
Are you serious?